Christianity in Indonesia, history, distribution, contemporary tensions, and youth trends. Introduction. Why focus on Christianity in Indonesia? Indonesia is the world's most populous Muslim-majority nation, yet its religious landscape is far from monochrome. Christianity in Indonesia is not an isolated foreign phenomenon, but is deeply intertwined with local ethnic groups, colonial education, language and literature, social services, and modern urban culture. There are approximately 28 to 29 million Christians, around 10 to 11% of the national population, unevenly distributed. In Papua, East Nusa Tenggara NTT, North Sulawesi Minahasa, Maluku, and North Sumatra Batak, Christianity is the dominant religion. In core regions such as Java, it remains a minority, though large evangelical and charismatic churches are highly visible in urban centers. These numbers and geographic patterns not only reflect the distribution of faith, but also project the political, social, and generational tensions and shifts at play. 1. Across 5 centuries, a historical overview of Christianity in Indonesia. Understanding contemporary Indonesian Christianity requires a long-term historical lens. 1. Early encounters, Portuguese influence in Roman Catholicism, 16th century onwards. From the 16th century, Portuguese traders and Catholic missionaries established footholds in the Maluku Islands, the Spice Islands, East Timor, and other southeastern islands, leaving the earliest Catholic imprints. These early contacts were closely tied to the spice trade and colonial administration. 2. The Dutch colonial era and Protestantization, 17th to 19th centuries. From the 17th century, the Dutch East India Company, VOC, and subsequent colonial administration systematized Protestant missionary activity, particularly in North Sumatra Batak region, North Sulawesi, Minahasa, and the Maluku Islands. This process was bound up with colonial-era schools' literacy, including Bible translation, and institutionalized social services, making the church a core part of certain ethnic identities. 3. Post-independence indigenization and diversification, 20th century present. After independence, Indonesian churches gradually indigenized. Local theological education, church autonomy, and ethnically rooted church structures, such as the Batak HKBP, became stronger. Over the past half-century, evangelical and Pentecostal/charismatic movements have expanded rapidly in cities, bringing younger demographics and experiential worship styles. Scholars note that the charismatic wave has harnessed popular culture, media, and urban networks to attract large numbers of young people. 2. Denominational landscape, from Catholicism and mainline Protestantism to charismatic growth. Christianity in Indonesia is a composite, made up of diverse traditions and new movements. Roman Catholicism. Catholicism has a solid base in East Nusa Tenggara, Flores, Timor, parts of Papua, and certain urban communities. Through religious orders, healthcare, and education services, it has built significant social influence, and in some provinces, the proportion of Catholics within the Christian population has grown. Mainline Protestantism and ethnic churches, HKBP, GKI, GPIB, etc. In areas with strong ethnic foundations, such as the Batak, churches rooted in language and ethnicity emerged, such as the Huria Christian Batak Protestant, HKBP, which serves not only as a religious community but also as a platform for cultural identity, education, and political mobilization. Other historic churches like the GKI, Indonesian Christian Church, and GPIB, Indonesian Protestant Church, also play significant roles in education and social service. The rise of charismatic/Pentecostal and evangelical churches. In recent decades, Pentecostal and charismatic movements have spread rapidly in urban and peri-urban areas. Notable examples include Gereja Bethel Indonesia, GBI, GPDI, Indonesian Pentecostal Church, and multiple large-scale worship-style city churches. These congregations emphasize experiential spirituality, prayer, healing, gifts of the Holy Spirit, live worship, music, lighting, stage production, and media and community outreach that appeals strongly to younger believers. Academic studies and field reports indicate that such churches thrive in urban contexts due to their immediacy of experience and strong social support networks. 3. Geographic and ethnic distribution. Where is Christianity concentrated? Christianity in Indonesia shows strong regional and ethnic concentration. Papua, Papua/West Papua, and East Nusa Tenggara, NTT Christians form the majority. Churches play key roles in education, healthcare, and community organization. Integration with local customs gives them strong social influence. North Sulawesi, Minahasa, and Maluku, deeply shaped by Dutch missionary influence, Protestant traditions have strong historical roots. North Sumatra, Batak Christianity is especially entrenched among the Batak people, with churches such as HKBP intertwined with ethnic identity, influencing local education and politics. Urban areas, Jakarta, Surabaya, etc., while Christians make up a smaller share compared to island regions, large evangelical/charismatic, Chinese language, and multi-ethnic congregations have high visibility in cultural and media spheres. This regional diversity means that the social status and lived experience of Christians in Indonesia vary dramatically. In some provinces, they are the mainstream with access to public resources. In most others, they are a minority facing social exclusion or regulatory hurdles. For legal, institutional, and public space tensions, the PBM 2006 Joint Ministerial Decree and Blasphemy Law. Although Indonesia's constitution guarantees religious freedom, structural barriers arise from institutional regulations and local enforcement. 1. The 2006 Joint Ministerial Decree on Houses of Worship, PBM/SKB 2006. Issued by the Ministry of Religious Affairs and the Ministry of Home Affairs, this decree requires documentation and local approval to build a house of worship, including a minimum number of congregants, signatures from non-adherents, and a written recommendation from the local Religious Harmony Forum/FKUB. While intended to reduce conflict, in practice has been used in some regions to block minority religious groups from establishing churches, leading to lengthy processes, unequal access to space, and occasional violent opposition. Human rights groups and policy reports have long criticized its discriminatory implementation and potential for local abuse. 2. Blasphemy law and its impact, the Ahok case. Indonesia retains laws criminalizing religious insult, originating from regulations in 1965 and their application in the Penal Code. In 2016 to 2017, Jakarta's then Governor Basuki Ahok Jahajapurnama, an ethnic Chinese Christian, was accused of blaspheming Islam during his re-election campaign. Following mass protests in a court trial, he was convicted and imprisoned. The case has become a textbook example of how religion and politics intersect, how religious sentiment can be mobilized, and how the judiciary can be influenced. It raised domestic and international concerns about Indonesia's religious tolerance and showed how laws and mass mobilization can affect the political space of religious minorities. 3. Real-world consequences of institutional tensions. Regulations like the PBM, combined with selective enforcement, make it difficult for churches in some areas to gain legal standing for their buildings or activities. Blasphemy laws and religious mobilization can politicize religious differences, increasing insecurity and vulnerability for minorities, especially Christians in Muslim-majority towns and villages.